Henry Ruggs III, the presumed next great wide receiver of the Las Vegas Raiders, got into a fiery crash where he allegedly killed a person, crashed into another car, killed a person, charged with a felony, and the Raiders have since cut him. They just announced this now. This is brand new news. I know everybody's talking about the Astros and the Braves and everything else, but and it's also election night, so I understand the news cycle is crazy. But Henry Ruggs III is no longer a Las Vegas Raider. But more importantly, Henry Ruggs might not be a free man for at least 20 years if the charges against him stick. Now, we'll dive deep into the details here, courtesy of ESPN. I'll read it for you. I'd like to know your thoughts, but just a horrible tragedy. I don't. Horrible tragedy, terrible, unnecessary loss of life. If he was indeed impaired, which it seems like he was, aka drunk, uh, beyond stupid, beyond ridiculous. I don't have the words to describe it. I feel like that's too. It's too light on the guy. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. This dude had the world in his hands. Okay, I literally interviewed this dude a year and a half ago at the NFL Combine. Okay, we were chatting it up, cool guy and everything. I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna be great. Talking about his family background and everything. I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna be a star one day. This kid's gonna be a star. And what happens? He gets behind the wheel of a car drunk, allegedly, not only injures himself, but takes another person's life. And I don't care if you're a football player. I don't care if you're a rock star. I don't care if you're an everyday citizen. I don't care if you have an alcohol problem. You do not get behind the wheel when you're impaired. And if you got money, man, like call an Uber or something. It's just horrifically irresponsible. And now this guy could end up in prison. Even if he ends up in prison for a short time, his career might be over. Now, some people will bring up, hey, well, Dante Stallworth, I believe it was Dante Stallworth, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, got into a accident where he killed a person, being under the influence. And if I recall correctly, he settled with the family relatively quickly, and he was able to still play. Now, that's happened before in the NFL. I don't condone that. But I don't even want to really speculate that. All I can say is that it's just sad, it's disgusting, it's a tragedy all around. So let's get to the actual details here as to what happened. Again, these are courtesy of ESPN and TMZ Sports. Henry Ruggs was released from a hospital into a Las Vegas jail ahead of an initial court appearance Wednesday on multiple felony charges after a fiery pre-dawn vehicle crash that left a woman dead and I apologize if I didn't mention that. It was a woman who died, and Ruggs and his female passenger injured, police and his attorney said. Ruggs, by the way, is only 22. I'm starting to editorialize here. And his passenger were hospitalized with unspecified injuries. The police said were not life-threatening. After his Chevy Corvette he was driving slammed at high speed into the rear end of a RAV4 on a busy thoroughfare in a residential area several miles, west of the Las Vegas Strip about 3:40 a.m. Tuesday. So this happened Tuesday morning. The Toyota burst into flames. Jesus. And the driver and her dog died. The woman was not immediately identified. And as you can see, I mean, my Twitter feed's blowing up. It's crazy. There's been a big story on football Twitter, on Twitter in general. Okay, here's the key. Ruggs showed signs of impairment, police said in a statement that did not identify the woman who died. The injuries that Ruggs or his passenger received or named Ruggs' passenger, who remained hospitalized. Police are prohibited by federal privacy law from disclosing medical information, yada yada. Okay, here we go. Ruggs faces felony charges of driving under the influence of alcohol, resulting in death and reckless driving, court records show. Probation is not an option in Nevada for a conviction on a charge of DUI causing death, which carries a possible sentence of 2 to 20 years in state prison. The possible sentence for reckless driving is 1 to 6 years, with probation available. His attorney said they're investigating and ask everyone to reserve judgment until all the facts are gathered. And yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders dropped a huge bombshell on Twitter, and just an awful story. So here's what the Raiders said initially. The Raiders said initially, we are aware of the accident involving Henry Ruggs III that occurred this morning in Las Vegas. We are devastated by the loss of life, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the victim's family. We're in the process of gathering information and will have no further comment at this time. That was roughly 9 hours ago, 2:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 2nd. Of course, now it's November 3rd. It's after midnight, at least here in the East Coast. And then the Raiders just tweeted out 21 minutes ago at the time of recording this, timestamped 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 2nd. The Las Vegas Raiders have released wide receiver Henry Ruggs III. Crazy. Just crazy. So what can I say? My thoughts and prayers are with the victim's family. If Henry Ruggs was indeed driving impaired, he should be punished to the full extent of the law. I hate seeing somebody so young, so promising, so talented in this situation. But listen, man, I mean, he's an adult and it's horrifying. Again, I'm not going to speculate on his playing future and everything else. I know there's been some precedents set with Dante Stallworth and some other players, which, again, I don't agree with. So I don't want to really speculate on that right now. I think the main thing to reflect on is a few things. One, do not drive impaired. I don't care if you're high as hell. I don't care if you're drunk. I don't care if you're both. I don't care what you inhaled. If you are impaired or you know somebody that's impaired that's going to get behind the wheel, please, for the love of God, call an Uber, call a taxi, sit this one out. Just don't get behind the wheel. If you know somebody that has a problem, and I don't know if Henry Ruggs has a problem with anything other than irresponsibility that ended fatally, please get them help or get help yourself. And, again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the victim's family. Just horrible tragedy. And really the least important thing, in my humble opinion, in this whole situation, Henry Ruggs' football career might be done. And it's a shame, and I hope that I hate that it has to be this way, but for any NFL players, any young NFL players I've covered, I've interviewed who are in the league right now, be responsible. Use this as a wake-up call. For people in general, your life can turn upside down like that. There's already enough crap that happens in life that you can't control. You control what you put in your body and when you get behind the wheel. So that's all I got to say. But, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Keep it right here at TSC if you'd like to follow us for NFL news. I'd say the usual pitch, like, share, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, nah, I'm not feeling that. I think what I'll do instead is I'll include a link to any alcohol treatment programs and any victims of drunk driving. I'll see if there's like a fundraiser link I could link there. So, yeah, there's that. An awful tragedy. Rest in peace to the woman and her dog who passed away, allegedly at the hands of Henry Ruggs drunk driving. Stay safe, everybody. Good night.